Ladies and gentlemen, PK Hills.
I really like you, thank you. I was 30 about, and I was a teacher and a newly recovering alcoholic and a survivor of child sexual abuse and trying to escape a really toxic, abusive, sexually, physically, spiritually situation. And my family never got involved in, even if the abuse was really obvious, they just didn't get involved. They weren't the type, so I had to take care of myself. I was 30, it was about time. So I wanted a clean slate or, blank canvas, a new start. So I made what some people call a geographical cure. And I moved 3,844 miles away. I do things in extremes sometimes. And I moved to Europe. I took a job as a teacher, and my mind is blank. Sorry. Took a job as a teacher, and I'm going to skip that whole thing because I lost it. Oh my God.
You got it.
Very appropriate, you have to say. Thank you. So I moved to Europe, to a country where I knew 3 words. Gesundheit, Danke, and Tannenbaum. But obviously, I was always a walker, I was always a bird watcher, I was always a nature person, so I fit in really well in this German atmosphere with their bolts marching and, climbing the Alpine. It was fantastic. That part was just fantastic. And since I was a walker, I often left my car at my apartment, and I would walk to work, and I lived on Sigmund Freud Strasse. That's the truth, I swear to God. So I lived on Sigmund Freud Strasse. I'd leave my car, I'd walk the cobblestones. I loved walking to work. I just loved it. And one morning in December, I was still really new there, I passed a whole group of men doing some kind of construction. They hadn't been there the day before. So by the time I came back, after work, I was walking back, there was a Christmas mart built in that day. I had never been to one. It was my first. It was certainly not my last. I stopped. I saw, oh my God, all these people dressed in lederhosen and, the long green loading coats and, woolen mittens and the alpine hats. It was a fairy tale, really. And they were selling everything that you can possibly imagine around Christmas. Nutcrackers that were taller than any guy in this room, and tiny, intricate, hand carved wooden, oh my God, ornaments for trees, for the Christmas trees or the house. It was the dichotomy of the two was incredible, and they were all so happy, and they were screaming what they were selling. They had signs about what they were selling. They had these fantastic ornaments, and of course they sold, the hot Glühwein, and I didn't know what that was at the time, but the hot Glühwein and the warm beer, and that's German, no ice in your beer, and a bratwurst and sauerkraut. The place smelled like Germany. It was like such a great introduction for me. And I listened to the words as people were talking, yelling back and forth, and the signs that were saying what they were selling, and I put a lot of the stuff together because I could have everything I wanted at the PX. I was a civilian working for the Department of Defense, and I could use the PX, but I really didn't want to use the Frankfurt PX with American cash. I wanted to learn the culture and the people and the language. That part I didn't get too well, but I learned so much while I was there. And this particular night, or it was night now, and I put the words together that I was hearing people speak and written, and I put Weihnachtbaumen zu verkaufen. And I put it, don't mock my German. Yeah, I can order water in Germany, so I'm ahead of you on that already. I walked around for 2 weeks. Every person I met, every person I passed, every coworker, which was really embarrassing, and I would say, you know, Weihnachtbaumen zu verkaufen. And I was doing it with, I was told later, a very jolly face, a very American jolly face. And for 2 weeks I did this until the German teacher at the school, Frau Goethe, pulled me aside and she brought me down to the boiler room because she didn't want to embarrass me, and in a voice that was anything but low, and carapo, anything that was low, or she screamed at me, "Was, was?" And I'm like, "What, Trish, what are you trying to say?" Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I wanted, you know, she said, "Bitte, bitte schön, bitte, halt, stop and see. Don't! You are not saying Merry Christmas. You are not saying anything remotely like it. You're walking around in your LL Bean, you're screaming that you're an American, and you're saying, Christmas trees for sale." So to you, I say, if I had a blank slate, if I had a canvas, a clean canvas, I would have one word written on it, and it would be for you, and it would be Gesundheit. Good health to you, and Dankeschön.